Hi, welcome back to the next part of our tutorial series to build an e-bike. Today we reached a part where we must clean that all a little because we have a memory from 188 megabytes and words from 100,000 words. That is too much to handle that free and clean. So because of that, we don't need that here anymore, so with X delete that. Then we don't need that here and that here anymore, so X delete that. This here the same, or we let it stand because we will make that today. So we need here the first layer. Here only should be instances, nothing at all other. So things that we will build can believe here. Things that are finished go to the 6th layer, and here we need to make the instances. All this other stuff here we move to layer 1 because we need them to build. That here must be builded, textured and so move to first layer. That all that we see here is finished, so it comes to this layer here, the 5th layer. So that is finished too, so move to 5th layer. This one here all we take and move to the 5th layer too. So on this two we work, that is okay. So we look at the 5th layer, and now we press Shift C, and you see the 3D cursor comes to the middle point of this layer here. And that is important when you get instances of someone. When you make them here and you place it in the first layer, then you place it here, you cross and insert it, and it shines here. That is because it is not in the middle. All instances that you make, the object must be in the middle. So with Alt G we can bring the object in the middle point. So now we can give them with Control G and group, so that is called break, and then we have an instance from that. So we can bring to the first layer, and then we can place them here by add group instance break. Now this has no words because the words are on another layer, so that makes it easy to handle that here fast. Good, we have one. Then we go back to 5th layer. This one, you see the origin is not at a middle point, so we set the origin to geometry. Then we have to bring that in a middle point too, so Alt C, it is on a middle point too, and give them group, so Control G and call it pedal. We call it in German, I don't know the word in English. So we have that. We can bring them now to first layer as an instance, so add group instance pedal, and there is it. Here you can increase this cross there, so, and you see nothing changed on the words. That is the fine thing on that. So the next one, here we must bring that together. That is not one object in the moment, so we take here and apply. Here that we left for a moment, That is okay. And that we left for the moment too. So we got that, 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 and that, and join them together as one. When we now move it, we only need the screws in there. So I must think about that. It is better when we here work with the original mesh, because then we can I joined that moment. So we kill that here, because then we can take an instance of the whole object. So we had the problem when we take here this these are instances in the moment, these screws. So we want to have one instance where all is on. So we delete them and then bring on their the original screw. So we must search the original screw, that is important, and look how this is a high one, 16,000. So there are two possibilities to make them less. That is, when you mark all, click X and limit dissolve, but it destroys the topology. That is the problem with that. Or you go there with the decimate, and there you can say unsubdivide. That makes them 1 or 2 steps from the unsubdivide. You have 15,000 now. When you make iteration 1, you have only 9,000, but you see it will not be that good as before. So you must know what you do there. I make there an add split on it, so all this shading errors are gone. That is good. We need the screws. So must look where the screws are and why here is a double one. That is the original one, but what should it here? So we mark them complete and move them to layer 2. There are our copies, I will hope. Yeah. So here we search for the screw that we talk about. I don't know where exactly it is, but we will find out. That isn't it. That is the other screw. Maybe here in the middle somewhere. Yeah, better it is when you give them names here in the outliner. You will find that then much faster, as we have it now. I go look at the third one. Is there such? There is something, so we jump to, there is. So we move them to the second layer. Then we make a copy of that, Shift D. Then you see it on the green lines, it is a group. So we don't want half a group in a moment there. So we go here, and then under groups we delete the group. So now it is a normal mesh. And now we can move them to our fifth layer. In the fifth layer we place them now on our holder here. So we jump to rotate. We must go here to global, rotate set 90. So we can bring it here on the back into, but a little bit smaller, such like that. That's okay. Then Shift D, make a duplicate of them, bring that down to, take both, Shift D, bring it to the Y, and rotate set 180. So this turned, and plug them there in. That is okay. Then take one of them and Shift D. Oh, that was the wrong one. So Shift D, make a copy of that, rotate, set 90 degrees, and place them there in 2. Nearly. Good, that is okay for the moment. Here we have a screw on the last part there, so we take here this last face and extrude it to the inside. Maybe bring it a little bit down, and then here to front, such like that. Good. Shift D, make a copy of them, put it there too, then make copies of both. Shift D and bring down to here. We need to go a little bit more outside. So we have that. That is okay. Now we click them all. So, and join them together, and now we have one grabbing. That is the thing here that we need to. So join, grabbing. This text there we will put later on as a texture, so we don't need to do there something now. Good. We have done that, and that is okay. Yes. So we make now here set the origin to the geometry, then an Alt G to bring it in the middle, then Control G to make a group, and we call it holder 1. And now we can go to first layer and bring them here, add group instance holder 1, grabbing, make it cross smaller. That's it for 14,000. That is good to handle. That is not a problem. Good. So we have all that. File save for the moment. Then at the 5th layer we have also that. There was some errors happens. It's my fault. Fault. So we must do there some. We mark here this whole top thing because we don't need them. That is in the other metal later, so we can delete that. And that one has many words, and that we won't change. So we go here in edit mode, A to select all. You see that's too much. So we use X, delete, and limit dissolve. And then we have only 7,000, but the topology is destroyed. But in this case, it's not so hard. So we let it like that is now then. So then with Alt G, we bring it in the middle too. And Control G, make a group. And that we call the wheel holder front wheel holder Good. Then we can bring them to the first layer too. So add group instance front wheel holder, get here back to, and we have that. Good. Then these parts here, we must let them free because we must set that all later a little bit other. And these two things here comes double on the other side and so on. So that isn't finished in the moment, but what is finished in the moment is nearly that here, but not really. So we get here this here and select the whole thing and scale in Y, so that flows here into. Good, we have done that. Here we see that looks a little bit out, so we get that and bring them a little bit more in so that we don't see that. That is okay. Then here we must place that to the correct point, so bring it here onto, and a little bit wrong rotated, so we rotate it correctly, bring it up to, onto. Good. We can join that with that here together, and with them, and them join. So we have that one. That is okay. There nothing will change. So we bring the geometry, the origin to it. Then again with Alt G, bring it in the middle. With Control G, give them the name. We call it base metal part 1. Good. Then we plug them on the first layer, add group instance base metal middle part. So that's here, that's okay. Then, as I said, this must be both single. I don't know, is that one object? No. So we better make it to one. That should be more here inside. And this one must come up a little. So to that. And then we have to close that with F. And here the same, close that with F. And then it is good. So we can bring them together, join. That is good. Then we bring that here to our middle point. So Alt G, Control G, give them name. That is the wheel protector back wheel. So we have that. Then we bring them to first layer, add group instance. We protect the back wheel and bring that here to smaller part. Good. Then at the fifth layer again, take this one here, Alt G to the middle, and Control G, give the name. That's the wheel protector for the front wheel. So front wheel. Then we go here to first layer and add group instance front wheel protector and place it there. Good. File, save. We look what we can do more. This must be all tweaked later. That is not the point to make that now. That here we don't need on this layer, so we move them to the second layer. That we need to make textures from that. So that is the back light, so we can place it there. Alt G, place it in the middle, Control G, and back light 1, and then place it here, back light 1, and it's okay. Good. File, save. So we done a lot, but not enough. Here we now need some metal on it. So to do that, we need here an unwrap, that is sure. So we take here without background selection this here, mark seam, this two guys here, mark seam, that here, mark seam, that and that too, and the down part, that and that, mark seam, that and that, and this too. Then we need this here, that, I think this here, that, and one of these lines too, and one of that line too. Good. So we can take that all and make an unwrap, and we see that's good unwrapped. That's fine. So we go to our materials and say there we want to have here the chain material, chain material 1. We give them an principal shader. Then we have here our node editor. We say we want to have here a texture on it, a metal texture. So you can get them from textures.com. I told that you before. I have that here in my folders. Here's metal, and I want the dark metal but not too dark. I think that here is okay. So I copy them and bring them to my work folder, where I have this whole project in here from this bike, and make it here in the texture folder that we made. And then we can take them here, so base color and image texture, then we give the folder and the texture. So you see he makes it on. We want to have a metallic one, so we give here metal 1. That is now a mirror, so we need a roughness on there. Good. Then to control that, normally we need here an texture coordinates and so on, but I'll let that here. I take another one for this screws there, because they are a little bit brighter. So new chain material 2. We have that. I take another metal material from my texture folder, a lighter one, such like that here, or that. Copy and bring them to my working folder. That's here. Plug them in. Then place them here to the we take here principal shader, we take here this texture, open texture folder, the lighter one. We say we have a metallic, so give them here 1. Then roughness is needed, such like that. And then we take here this both and give them chain material 2. And then we have here the lighter one. You will see that better when the light really later comes to it. But here we try to give them this texture coordinates. So input texture coordinates. Then add vector the mapping of the texture. We connect UV with the vector. Go here to texture and connect that to the vector here. Now we can control it by these values of scale. So when we make here 0.1, you will see that change directly to a little one. So that is too little. So we can give here 0.3 or some. And you see that looks better. Yeah. Good. That is okay. Then I must think that we have. Okay. Here we can later plug for displacement or normal for some scratches on. We will see we made that or not. But in the moment that is okay. So we give them here set the origin to the geometry and later plug that here around with array. Sure. Good. So file save. What we have to do here is to make here these normals that we need for that. That will be our part today. So we will try it. So we add mesh UV sphere with 32s, okay. Then we delete in edit mode, word selection with background selection, the middle point. So that, then from the top, the back one we need not. So we delete the back and we have only that left. That should be later this black normal. So we can scale them smaller, much smaller, and then give them here Shift D, a copy, then turn it around, rotate Y 180, then we bring them both together with space, search, and bridge, edge loops, and you close it. That is our thing here, but they are longer, I see, so we make them longer too. We get them here and bring them out there, such like that. I think that can be it. So we now make a secure copy Shift D. We try to count how many there are. So I try to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and the back 28 or something like that. So we give them here an array modifier with 28 counts and space between, so we make this value here higher. So I think that can be good. That we want to have, and we want to make normal from that. So because of that, we need to object, apply the rotation scale, then we set the origin to geometry, then we need here a plane where we can bake to, so we add mesh plane, rotate x 90 degrees, scale up that we at the end of each of that, bring that in the middle. So let's look at left and right. It's the same distance there. Good. Then we must go in front of them. Such like that. That's perfect. Now we need here an UV to get this baking on, the normal baking. So we make here new, give them a name. We call it stripes normal 1, and it should be 1000 or 1000, that is okay. It can be an alpha 1, and it can be blank. Yes. So we go to OK. We have them now. You see that little star here by image. That means we haven't saved that, so we have to image, save as image, and we give them our texture folder, stripes normal 1 as a PNG that we don't want. We want to have their JPEG and bring them quality to 100 and save that. Good. So this one must have an unwrap and a material. So we give them first a material, we call it stripes. There it is, which material, but you must have one. That is important. So we have here that material from stripes. Here we need now that image that we saved here, the UV image there. So we give them here a texture, image texture. Here we must bring in that picture there, so open textures, and it is stripes normal. Good, that must be activated, so there must be yellow lines around that. That's okay. Here we need material 2, and here we need an unwrap, so we use unwrap from project view bounds. That makes it on the whole place there. You see it is on the complete line. That's okay. Then here we have to give them the mark seams, so we can take here each one and here make the last one mark seam, but in the real world we make it other way, but you will do that now. Mark seam. Oh, we did it before the array, that was better, but okay, I've forgotten. So we make it this way. So that one, and that one. Here to the end. So, wow, there are many. 28. Okay. So we have done that. Mark seam. So here too. Oh, 2 left. Okay. And we do it there too. Okay, now we take them all and you to unwrap, and you see they are placed on it, but we want to have them from the front. So we take here UV unwrap project from view, and then we bring them to a size that it fits halfway, grab them, bring them in the middle. So we got that. Then we want to bake here a normal from that. So we have first to click the back one, then the front one. Oh, must look here at this one. There is not this image, so we have to add them. Add texture, image texture, open textures, give them the black one. So that is activated. This one too. So first the back one, then the front. Then we go here under rendering and say bake, and we want to bake a normal, so we go to normal, then select to activate it, and then we bake. And now we have that bake there. Don't know why it is such like that. That is because the margin. We make the margin lower and bake again. Yeah, without margin. Okay. So we have that. Now we have this little star again, so we must save it again. So save image. Done. Now we can use this one for the black head of the ventil. I take that back and move them to layer 2. So when we now get this one, we can move to layer 2. Then this black one, we can now take this normal on it. So we take here that one, Control plus to select all what should be black later. Okay, I'll make it simpler. I'll make it with background selection. Then I take this whole thing there and give a plus. So then we give them a black plastic. So new. Then we can type here black, and then we have plastic. The rest should be other color, but that's not a problem in a moment. Assign. We take here, the other one is the silver, so we take here silver rough. You must check that. Good. Then select inverse, so we select the rest and we give them the silver rough there. Then we have not a problem from that here. So by the black plastic we need a normal, so we need a second version of that black plastic. So we click here on 40, it makes then 50. So we have here a 001, so we don't change the real one, we have a new one. And here we can take our normal. Here is a normal map on for that effect, but now we change it to our normal. So must look, that are the textures, and here is our texture, and we have to bring here an unwrap on it. So we select here the inverse and unwrap, And here we have now the problem that he don't make that here as a line, that we need a line here. So we can take here the MISC, that is an add-on. You must install it, download and install UV squares, it's called, and when you click there it makes it straight, and then you can place it there on, and then you will have the effect, but not on this one. We need it on that one. So must look here, we need another one. So here we take the original black plastic, so we give them here plus black plastic and give them top that one, and here we take that one with the normal there on. So we take it again. We have here the black plastic 1 assign, then we give them the unwrap, I try it again. Yeah, there we have it. But you see that is too small, so we have to scale it. I think here one for start. Then we look what we got. We got that is too less, so we go here, crater. Three, 4, re-crabbing in the middle, then crater 5, 6, 7, 8, more 9, re-crabbing. So I think 2.5, 2.5 to 2.5, and re-grabbing, grab nearly, but a little bit crater chippy, so we give them here 3 and here 3 2, then we re-grab that. So we have that for me is absolutely okay. When we want to have it better, we can bring this both together here, this one and the other one, but at the moment I'll let it. Good. We have created this one normal, that's okay. Now we need here this normal for the screw and this normal too, so we must make 2 normals. File, save, but I don't want to do that today. We make it in the next part, so see you, bye.